Hello.
Hey.
I just had that scene from The Big Lebowski where he's like, "What day is it?" Looking around like, so is it a Tuesday or Wednesday? So it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's not always the same day, but sometimes we're here.
Yeah, we try to. It's hard being everyone's so busy. We try to get you guys the information as consistently as we can. So
what's great is that there's so much to talk about. There's always something to put a show together with. We've got a great community that's just being built around the collective idea, kind of as the core of it, but then all the different arms and legs of that, everything that we're looking at because of the collective. The idea of the collective is games, right? So there's lots of stuff to look at. Always something to talk about, especially. I mean, things are heating up for a lot of different things. There's a lot of guys that are finally getting their dreams to come to fruition. Their games are finally in that play to airdrop phase. All of that. So anyway, we'll talk about some of that. I want to start off talking about the DeEEP network, which isn't a game, but it is definitely connected to the collective. We just posted in the collective Discord that we're trying to build the direct community for DeEEP. They have their own Discord server. Blake, why don't you give us a little hint as to what exactly is going on there right now?
I think even better than I can explain it. Let's switch over here and we can just watch a little video on it.
Nice.
Web3 in its current form fails to meet proper standards of privacy and security because it is so centralized.
The whole crypto field has challenges. This is not that decentralized.
For example, 50% of Ethereum mainnet is hosted on centralized networks. The truth is, the majority of blockchain is just Amazon data centers. So what if we, the people, do not have to rely on Web2 centralized companies for blockchain? Introducing DeEEP Network DePIN by NerdNode, offering decentralized infrastructure and managed services. We are taking Web3 services back from Web2. We're deploying thousands of physical hardware nodes and creating a global, decentralized peer-to-peer infrastructure. So what's in it for you? Plug and earn. With our one-click deployment, simply plug in your device and earn. Thanks to our network utility token, DeEEP, now you can get a cut of worldwide hosting fees. To learn more, join us at deep.network and be part of the decentralized revolution.
Well, there it is.
Yeah. So it's, any of you that I don't know if anyone does or might not know about NerdNode, but this is something we've kind of been working with for a long time, not necessarily even as the collective, but as individuals. Forging Crypto is a big part of the NerdNode team, getting that off the ground and running. So, what started as, we can provide a service to host all of everyone's blockchain nodes in an automated fashion where we can guarantee your uptime rewards. Well, you still had the problem of, it's still not decentralized. And so I know that was a big push for them. What if we ship out our own physical hardware? And so like a node, but actually something physical that you are then contributing directly to the network. And let's bring decentralized projects onto an actual decentralized network. If something happens to Amazon and AWS goes down, and a lot of your projects that you like on a day-to-day basis are probably going to go down. And so, this is an opportunity for, things to really go the full Web3 route. So
it's fail safes. It's redundancies that allow for the network to continue, even if the central location goes down. There is no central location anymore.
Exactly. So they're currently in their phase of, you can go to deep.network, it's 3 E's, and you can actually buy one of the hardware devices if that's something you're interested in and being a part of that. And, being rewarded for that on the back end. You can find, I'm not going to dive into all the technical information and stuff. You can find all of that extensively on their site or in their Discord. But yeah, I think as far as how that works with the collective and things of that nature, it's, obviously we know the people doing it. We've been working with them independently for a long time. This is what we want to be able to run our things on. Like, we want NFTD to be hosted fully decentralized. Like, we'd love to get Mooncast onto it. We want to get these bits and pieces of, okay, well, there's a big connection point as far as all the things we're doing, putting that, towards real decentralization like DeEEP is doing. Yeah,
there's a lot of people. I remember listening to Titan. He's a decentralization purist. He and Faz kind of go back and forth. There's that argument that each decentralized organization needs some element of centralization, at least at the start, in order to be able to get things done. But ultimately, that there should be nothing central, and that, at least, like I said, that's Titan's purist kind of view. So there's a range of people in regards to just how decentralized is decentralized, but this is definitely a step further down the path by freeing yourself from your file hosting, your storage, your processing, being all just one big data center owned by one corporation or conglomerate or whatever. That it's all of a sudden it's a bunch of you and me's that are contributing to that, and then everybody that wants to run a you and me, like develop a you and me program or game or whatever, they can put it into this you and me system, and it's similar to the way that the blockchain is kind of always championed the decentralized idea,
exactly.
So very cool.
So I want to give a shout out to them as we start diving into the rest of our show, and check it out. It's a really cool project run by really established people in the tech world. So
the people that know what they're talking about.
Way more than I do.
Well, and we'll get to what I don't know what I'm talking about later. We're gonna talk about Mooncast's developers update. We love embarrassing ourselves trying to interpret those posts. Before we get to their update, NFTD had an update this week. Cryptogram's been faithful with those. I want to put this out there. I'm not trying to cause any waves, but I was sitting there putting the notes to this together, and my son was looking at NFTD, and he's like, new federational tripods of determination. And I was like, I don't think that's what they're going for, but I'm going to give you a shout out because that was creative. He's 9, so he came up with all of that.
That's awesome.
That was impressive.
Leave it up to the imagination.
he just wanted to fill in the blanks.
Exactly.
So there was quite a bit done. And I think to really sum up, one of the major pushes right now is getting a lot of things moved into the modern, right? We've been playing in the retro version, and that's where the leaderboard is. And that's where your towers are active. We see that the leaderboard now is very close to being implemented in the modern. That was Drew that was working behind that. He's got some testing to do with it, but very soon. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not they continue to do a dual leaderboard thing, or if they just transition over to the modern. But we also saw that Graham was doing some major implementation there. He was working on some of the towers themselves. He said the Astral Seed Tower and the Forged Hammer Tower, getting them into the modern version. And also the charge system. So apparently the charge system, if you go, you can still go to the nft.gg/alpha anyway, it's the alpha test site. You can go there. We'll bypass that. But if there's an alpha build, and then you're allowed to test it. You get in there. He said he did some tweaking too, that they changed the rate that the enemies were coming in, and so there have been some major adjustments there, and obviously the art there's art adjustments that are very different from the retro. So if you can get in there and test it, I'm sure that'll help them get one step closer to launching it for real. But for For now, it's only the retro version still that the leaderboard counts. And you need to use a charge. Don't forget to use your charge, or else the score isn't going to hit the leaderboard.
Yep.
All right, so the Mooncast thing. Here we go. Jason, back to the text form, because we got spoiled last week with the milestone
Video,
2.
yeah.
But he said that he and Eric were building, and now this is where my brain said C2PO, which is obviously the father of C3PO. And so they must have been looking towards human-cyborg relations. So we're glad that we're going to be able to have cyborgs playing Mooncast. That'll be great.
Love it.
Eric also, in a day, managed to convert over from the MetaMask SDK to Wallet Connect. And that included like adding a bunch of the features that the MetaMask had that Wallet Connect didn't have. And Jason said a day later, it's up and running and fine. It's great. And it has all sorts of accessibility that it allows. That's really good. Not exactly sure what their concern was with the MetaMask SDK. They might have been, it might have been just too restrictive for what they were trying to do. It might have been giving them hiccups. But like I said, one day he banged that out. And these guys are just really good at what they do. And then we got we already mentioned C2PO, which I don't know if he's going to work himself in. I don't know if he's famous enough to get a weekly update, but Jelly Pomo Tutu has been consistently on the radar since he made his appearance a few weeks back. And it turns out now they are feeding him. I don't know. It says it literally. They're feeding Jelly Pomo Tutu. So maybe he's going to be like their Rancor monster. I'm on a Star Wars kick apparently, because I didn't even watch it recently. I don't know what it is, but some kind of caged beast. You got to keep it alive. And then hey, there's a little Jason Hughes and Ben from Nerd Node doing a podcast this Friday. That's a good one to be around. Those guys, if you have a translator with you, because those guys know more than I do about what they're talking about.
High level really quick.
The last thing, Catherine cooked up some rice, and it's helping them work better. So I'm hoping that rice is obviously not just a tech term. It's probably more like a people management term, and I have no idea what rice is. So maybe they were just hungry. I like my rice with butter. Anyway. In addition to the update, Jason, he was in the chat. He's been in the chat quite a bit, which is wonderful. But he was he probed out there with a question about whether or not anyone in the community thought it was a good idea to have the zones run inside nodes. And I was impressed. He immediately got like, nerds are good. Nodes are good. We like nodes. I was impressed because this is a community that largely was formed from people burned by a node happy corporation, that many of those nodes were released in advance of a product and don't do anything. So it's not the nodes that are the problem. It's whether or not the team behind the nodes is actually doing something with them.
Exactly.
One of the comments that came out was that I'd love to have a node as long as it's not just getting pinged to make a token. And Jason was very clear that he would want them to be actually hosting the zones and receiving a percentage of the cast token for their work. So that's a cool idea. We'll see where that goes. We'll dive into some of the other games that we look at, the collateral stuff. Spellborn, the founder, Ghosty, he posted a dev update just recently, and it was yesterday's upgrade, actually. But they've been running, they finally started selling stuff through the game. The first one was they called it the Capybara Paradise chest. You could get a skin for your character and some other in-game items like gold nuggets and things like that. That one's no longer available. It's been replaced with the Finding Flarpy bundle. Flarpy is there's a mystique behind it, because eventually one of them is going to spawn there. Everyone's looking for this enchanted Flarpy. The first person to capture an enchanted Flarpy in this game is going to get a penthouse apartment given to them. It's like it's a big deal. And when they say it's a rare spawn rate like that, you have to understand that some people, like I'm over 16,000 battles, haven't seen one. There are people that are way ahead of me.
Well, it's probably, yeah. I mean, it's probably like getting like a shiny in Pokemon, right? You have like like I think the odds are like 1 in 8,000 something of stumbling across it every time. So it's like your odds are small.
Yeah, it's even smaller than that. Like nobody has seen one yet, and they're at millions, like 10 million battles at this point. So it's just not spawning. Or if it is, it's what's funny is that it could spawn and you might not be at the right bush.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then you wouldn't even see it, and it's like, oh great. So, but you never know, so you're not going to hurt your feelings or anything. But what they don't know won't hurt them, right?
Exactly.
I don't know if I've ever agreed with that statement. Anyway, there was a bunch of other fixes, but one of the big things that he mentioned was the stuff that's actually coming up. They've done a lot of work with monster breeding, and they're hoping to be able to get that either the end of this week or early next week. And another thing is NPC, like AI NPCs, where you're going to be able to battle them yourself. And they said that might be this week as well. So it's going to give you something more to do than just the wild monsters that you can go out into the bushes and capture. And they are still working on PvP friendly battles, but it's still early on that. So still some pretty cool stuff. Back to the bundles thing. Those skins that they said, the capybara skins, they're done. They had it wasn't so much a limited mint as it was a limited time, and now that's your first store skin that you could have purchased in this game. And there are a lot of people that bought multiples, and if you really want one, eventually they're going to have a marketplace where you're going to be able to get a hold of one. But those are going to be the Gen 1 skins, right? Those are going to be the early skins. They do have plenty of other skins, though. There are some that you can earn just from grinding through the game. They have a lot of partner projects that you can have skins for. But as far as the ones from the in-game store, that's number one. That's the early one. And the Flarpy one looks good too. And it's number 2, which is probably still pretty hot if the game takes off. So not financial advice. Check out the game. It's fun.
Yeah.
So another game we've been checking out, Star Atlas. This has been interesting to me because up to this point, it's just been constant glowing reviews. You know, the tokenomics, something that they poured over, something that they've made adjustments to, that they're just not, they're not accepting second best for anything in regards to that. The vision, very widespread, but also really, really cool, you know, and then the idea behind the crew packs, everyone just super stoked, really interested. And then they launched them this past week, and there were at least a few people that were kind of upset with what they delivered. So I was watching and I'm going to thank once again our man on the street, Earther, for getting us to the link. But the Rome Guild has their Metaverse Nomads show, and Whitticus was there. He had a lot of things to say that he was just displeased. You know, one of the major things was depending on the number of crew members you were getting. Like I only got a handful because I only had a couple ships, but some people have thousands of crew members that they were getting a hold of. And there was something about a maximum number that you could import to the Sage Labs version at a time. So that they said, if you don't want to do this, just click this button and it will automatically export to Sage or import to Sage Labs, whichever. And a lot of people were doing that because they didn't want to have to deal with like however many times they would have to click the button otherwise.
Yeah.
And they lost track of those. They couldn't find them. It's not that they didn't lose them. They're still there, but they weren't able to see them. The actual pack opening process was kind of circumvented as a result of that. And there were a lot of people that were really bummed out by that. Some people, like, they don't even know what they got. And it's possible. I think there were 6 anomalies that were found so far. And now the anomalies, I think there are only 50 total out of the millions of crew members that are out there. Imagine if you opened, they said this in the Metaverse Nomads, imagine if you opened an anomaly and you didn't even know it. like,
Yeah.
and like it's just sitting there. You have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
They did have one of their Rome guys that opened one of the anomalies, and he did it on video, so that was pretty cool. He's just like clicking. You saw him click a common anomaly, and he just probably like fell out of his seat because like that's going to be a super hot item. So that was a big deal. That the glitch with the pack opening, or at least the importing to Starbase or Sage Labs, but there was also issues with the art that it was kind of it wasn't a high enough resolution. You know, when you zoomed in, if you wanted to have your profile picture just the face or something like that, it became grainy because it wasn't a very good image. And there were a lot of complaints about the mud faction because those are like the humans, the human, and people just weren't impressed with them. So there were a number of other things that they said about it, but what was neat is that I went into the Star Atlas Discord and they had immediately come back with some solutions. So right off the bat, they added some new mud features, like art-wise. It's a long list of things that they have done. They're separating things from episode 0 to episode 1 in regard to the art of these, and also not just the art, but that was another thing. They have a personality statistic on there that hasn't even been introduced in regards to like what the heck it does. So like idea of what personality will do, like one of the I can't remember the name of that trait. Anyway, like there's a lot of personality characteristics that are listed there, and we don't know what they equate to. And that would be cool if they said they were coming, and we're gonna like kind of leave that for you, but it just kind of came out of the clear blue. But they've made some adjustments already, and they did say one of the other things that people didn't like was the fact that there was no backstory. You know, they had promised that each of these individuals would have some sort of backstory, and that's something that they have on the list of things to come, along with a bunch of other stuff. But they're not leaving it alone. But the initial launch was underwhelming in a lot of people's eyes. What's your take, Blake? You took a look at it. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, I definitely, people are there's always going to be critics, and critics are good, especially when they call out viable things. I think the most concerning thing I saw was, in the video, the Metaverse Nomads, one of them made a comment of just talking about moving into the 3D world and the Unreal Engine side of the game after the fact, because a lot of, AI art is good for a lot of things. But when it comes to 3D models, I know they were kind of talking about, well, what is that going to look like as far as if these are all just generated 2D and they don't have any of these as a base to put in a 3D, like how is that going to work possibly and stuff? So, there might be some other potential issues down the line, but at the end of the day, I think it's the Star Atlas team has proven to be very, I guess I don't even know the right words to put it. Like they care, they've been through the bear markets. They've gone through, when all the FTX stuff happened, they've been able to bounce back and continue to build an amazing product that people want to be a part of. They want to have ownership in, whatever it is. So yeah, I think, like you said, with how quickly they were able to respond and address it, and if they're able to amend their mistake, I think it's going to be moving forward, no issue at all.
I agree with you. I think the fact that they're as in tune with the community as they care about what people have to say, and the response was quick. That gives me a lot of hope for improvement down the line here.
Absolutely.
That was another thing that I forgot to mention. There was no integration with Tensor, and so they weren't able to. People weren't able to trade or sell them. That's something that they have already taken care of. Apparently, they're up and running with Tensor, so you have the ability to transfer them, which is that's always kind of important with an NFT project.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people, that's the only reason they're there. They want to be able to flip them. But even for those of us that are in it for the game, it is nice to be able to like swap things around.
Absolutely.
We brought up the Machines Arena recently, and I was kind of like shocked and pleasantly surprised because we've been covering Wild Forest also, and as I was going through their Discord, Wild Forest and Machines Arena partnered up. So if you have a Lords NFT, and the Lords that's like their premium profile picture type NFT. If you have one of those, you were able to get 2,000 play to airdrop points for the Machines Arena. That their play to airdrop started July 30th, and you also get a free VIP pass. So they said in this post we're looking at here, they said that each match is like 8 to 10 play to airdrop points. So 2,000 points is a good chunk of playtime to be able to like have under your belt just for because of this partnership. So that was really neat to see the way that a lot of these games are collaborating like that, just to like publicize each other and to get the word out. I think most of the people that are in the space have gone back to the idea that the rising tide raises all ships, and so I think everybody's excited about everybody succeeding. It just gives everybody a better opportunity. Wild Forest, they also had their token airdrop from season 2 last week. So it was the top 8,000 that were able to receive that. I was so bummed because I got busy at the end of the season and didn't complete the marathon quest, and ended up dropping into the 10,000s. I didn't get anything. I was so bummed. But that's what happens when you don't grind like a madman all the time.
Yeah.
Like this. But so that was the token airdrop. They also have leaderboard rewards, and those are going to be coming out. There's a little bit less than 5 days left in this season's leaderboard, and they're going to be giving out. Trevor, right here we're seeing a bunch of the numbers. 127, almost 128,000 new players just from season 2, between season 1 and season 2. As far as the units burned, the units generated, those are within the game. You can get them through the battle pass or the premium battle pass. Again, without having those Wild Forest tokens, I still can't get that premium battle pass. I'm gonna have to find some way to like really set some time aside to hammer at this game in order to get into it. But eventually the token will be out, and I'll just be able to like pick it up that way. But
yeah, exactly.
It would have been cooler to get it for free, get it for my time. But so this is the one where you can earn the essentially the NFTs in game, but you can also take those NFTs and merge them. They're not minted when you earn them. They're just on their servers. But then they're going to have they do have a mint feature, and that's another thing that they recently revamped. They wanted to restrict minting to people that either had a Lords NFT or had made it over 1,000 rating in their on their leaderboard. So that 1,000 is a good grind. So that means there's probably a player behind it, not a bot. It would be a darn good bot, which means you might as well have just been playing. Or
the amount of time you'd have to put in to make that bot that good, it would have been quicker to play the game.
I think so. Anyway, so that in addition to daily mint restrictions, so you have personal mint restrictions that like you can only mint so much. Now, if you have a Lords NFT, you get a couple extra points towards what you have available to mint, but they're not just going to let you mint everything that you want every day. And there's also a global mint limit, so you got to get in there fast as soon as the reset hits, because there's a lot of people that are probably going to be trying to mint, and once that day's allotment is used up, even if you do have the points, you won't be able to. So they're doing. I like the way that they've got these levers to keep things from getting too out of control. We a lot of times we'll see the token face hyperinflation problems. Here, it's the actual NFTs that are in danger if they don't control it. And I like what I'm seeing as far as the way that they offset some of the potential problems with that. So it's
Yeah.
a pretty neat system. Definitely a fun game. Man, you have got to be paying attention as soon as it starts, because even the first 5 seconds, if your match and you're not paying attention the first 5 seconds, a smart person is just going to be able to flood you real quick. And if they see that you're not paying attention, they're going to come after you, and it's going to be a quick loss for you. So, but it is fun. Like when both of you are in there, it's strange that even though you can have higher level characters, I can't tell you how many times I have beaten or been beaten by someone, and we were not even close in regards to strength. It's really about savvy. Are you playing well? Are you sharp right now? Because like game to game, I might have an off game real easy because like I'm distracted. I've got kids. I've got things that I squirrel my attention away.
Absolutely.
So like if you can be a good player and have a bad game.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how good your stuff are. If both players are on fire and one has better stuff, the guy with the better stuff's going to win. But what's really cool is that you can make your stuff better. So like just keep playing. I guess that's all for Wild Forest. There's an image for the leaderboard rewards packs that are coming out. Can you toss that up real quick? Yeah, there it is. So this is going to be, like I said, the leaderboard is going to end in about 5 days, 4.5, and depending on where you place, you're going to get one of these. Obviously, the golden trophy packs are going to be saved for the top. I think it's the top 10 that get the golden. And then like 11 through 35 for silver, and then just like kind of expands out with the bronze and copper. But you can get a lot of stuff out of these. Like, what is it? It's up to 20,000 WF tokens in one of the golden trophies. I think it's a randomized amount that you get when you open the chest. So, lots of cool different ways to put stuff together in that game. I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is something I didn't throw this in the notes, but we've been talking about collaboration and everything like that. One of the projects that I've been really watching closely is Nyan Heroes. We don't have a whole lot to say about their game right now because we're all anticipating the September 4th season 3. But one of the things that they've been doing to keep everybody like kind of just on the same page and excited about Nyan Heroes is going and playing other games. And I've been introduced to a bunch of different games through them. I'm not going to go through any names right now, but that might be something. If you guys are looking for a fun game to play, pop into the Nyan Heroes Discord and look at the things that they have coming up. Every week they've got a calendar of events. They're going and playing other people's games. And if you go and play when they're playing, you can win yarn, which that's their Discord currency. And as you build that up, you can use that yarn to purchase like packages that have their Nyan token in it or other things. They actually have Star Atlas silver packs on the menu.
Oh yeah.
So they've been collaborating with a ton of people.
Yeah.
Some of them without even like the devs don't always even know it. They're just playing the game. Sometimes they'll play Dota 2. I don't think the Dota 2 devs are like hanging out with them.
Yeah, they're just like, it's a fun game. We want to play it.
Yeah, so they do that sometimes. But especially with the blockchain games, they'll get in touch and they'll say, "Hey, do you guys want to come in and talk to our community about the game?" So you'll be able to hear like firsthand from the people that made the game what it's all about. So that's been a lot of fun for me, and it's also kept me kind of abreast of the much wider field of blockchain games that are out there. If you guys have them, we listen to you guys. That's how we dove into Machines Arena and off the grid. Like, let us know. We love to talk about games here, and
that's what we do.
It is. Well, let's save talking about games for next time then.
I like it.
We'll see you when we see you, I guess.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone that tuned in. I'll see you later, man.
Thanks.
Bye.